Hey coin collectors, it's DC on the Big D, and today it's the 1970 United States quarter. We're going to focus on this one here, the Denver Mint quarter, and you can see the D over here for the Denver Mint, and we're going to look at it on the side, we're going to look at it on the scale, and we're going to talk to you about the thin quarter from 1970 that weighs 4.2 grams and that was stamped on a US dime planchet. One of the things we notice when we magnify this coin has something of a doubled rim over here on the left, but there's no real value to that. This little extra material there, that happens real frequently. You can see it up there too. So no value there. But whenever you get a Denver Mint quarter from 1970, the first thing you need to do is take it and put it on a scale. We've got our trusty AccuWeight scale here, and you can see we've set it at 0. We're going to take the Denver Mint quarter, you can see the D on there, and weigh it. Now, if it weighs 4.2 grams, it's one of the thin quarters. If it weighs 5.5 to 5.7 grams, it's one of the regular quarters. And of course, this one is here. This is from a uncirculated mint set. We know this isn't going to be one of the thin quarters because they didn't put any of those in the uncirculated mint sets. Well, what's the story about the thin quarters? Well, what happened was they took the dime planchet, which is much thinner, and let's show you the difference in thickness right here. So this is what you're looking for also. You put a quarter next to it and you see how thin that is there. So that's a dime there that we've got here. There's a Roosevelt dime on one side, and we got the 1970 quarter on the other side. If you find a quarter that is that much thinner, that's a good visual indication. But regardless of whether it looks thinner than the other quarters, you're going to have to put it on the scale because this one will weigh somewhere between 5.6 and 5.7 grams, and this one here, if it's a thin quarter, will weigh about 4.2 grams. And so put it on the scale. Okay, so you can see how these two are quite different in thickness, and they took the planchet that was this thin and printed this coin on top, and that's why. They've actually done all the calculations, the mathematical calculations, and it turns out if you take a dime planchet and you make the coin this big but this thick, it weighs exactly 4.2 grams. So that's how it turned out. How many coins did they make at the Denver Mint? Well, they made 417 million. And if you get one of them that's on a dime planchet, it's going to be worth anywhere from the tens of dollars to the hundreds of dollars. But if you get one of them that's at an MS68 Plus from the Denver Mint, that's going to be worth about $10,000. So don't just look for the thin ones, look for the good ones too. There are also two double die obverse versions and two double die reverse versions that are worth between $1,000 and $3,000. So Denver Mint's where you look in 1970. They also made the coin at the Philadelphia Mint, and this is just a beauty here. You see it's kind of washing off the edge. This one just got a real smooth edge here. It almost went off the edge of the coin just a bit, and there's a little bit more space up there. Again, no big value to this, but this coin by itself is probably worth between $5 and $12 because this is an MS65 or over. They found for the 136 million that they made at the Philadelphia Mint are at an MS67 Plus, and those are worth $2,750. If we look at the back of these coins, we can see that there's some quality here, but in 1970 you're not going to get a lot of great detail on the backs. United States of America, E pluribus unum. If we look at the beak, we don't see a great beak line there. And we can move our lights around a little bit to see if we see a little bit more, and we still don't. We don't see very good feathers across the shoulders here. No good feathers between the legs here or coming down. And the tail feathers look a little bit chunky down here. So this is a Philadelphia Mint coin from the uncirculated mint set. And even those didn't have great detail on the back. And then finally they made these at the San Francisco Mint also. They only made proof coins at the San Francisco Mint. And you can see the S down here, a really clear, clean S with a much bigger bottom than it has a top on it. And that's the 1970 S coin. This one has a little bit of coloring in it. At the San Francisco Mint, they made 2.6 million. They found 59 so far with a proof 70 deep cameo, and you'll see this isn't really a cameo at all. but a Proof 70 Deep Cameo gets you about $575. However, they sold one at the Heritage Auctions in 2007 for about $2,700. So sometimes these coins are sold at a much higher dollar value at auction than they're rated at by PCGS. Let's take a look at the back of this one, because being a proof coin, it should have much better detail on it. And we see even this one doesn't have much detail on the shoulders, but the beak and the beak line isn't much better, but the head looks much more detailed. And then the tail feathers down here are much cleaner. We see that this this is an olive wreath that goes across the bottom. At the very bottom it says $quarter. We're starting to see some really good coloring coming through in there. Last thing we want to look at on these is the initials of the engraver, and if we tip it up here we see there's a JF there, and that's for John Flanagan, and those are pretty smooth also, even on the San Francisco Mint proof coin. No silver coins were made in 1970, so if you're looking, you can find some proof coins $500 to $600. You can find some Philadelphia coins up to $2,700, and you can find some Denver Mint coins both in the thin and the regular thickness variety for anywhere between $1,000 and $10,000 for the highest quality graded ones. All right, that's all we have today from Big D Coins. Please subscribe to the channel and leave any comments you have in the comments section.